Everybody?
Yep.
Alright. Sorry, I do it every time. Okay, hello Epic Hero! Hey there! I'm Hope Pennington of The Epic Place, and this is Patience Pennington, a photographer and filmmaker at The Brightness Project, thebrightnessproject.com. And welcome to the Epic Project Sister Time! Yay! Okay. Today we're going to be talking about creating your brand. Because she and I are very different people, we have very different brands, but we both have built something off of it.
On social media.
On social media.
Yeah.
In different ways though. So I thought it would be interesting to talk about how we have individually found our path towards creating our brand. Not that we're the experts or anything like that.
No, definitely
I just
not.
thought it would be cool to see the differences and talk about that. So can you first tell everybody what your brand is?
So I'm a photographer and filmmaker. It's kind of interesting because like you're saying, I'm not an expert. I'm very much always in transition right now. Just kind of in this stage of my life. But I approach photography and films from sort of an authentic documentary but still artistic perspective. So something between fine art and photojournalism.
Okay.
So yeah, I try to just present an authentic, joyful view on real life things that are happening, whether it's families or businesses or.
So is that where the Brightness Project, the brightness, does that symbolize trying to find joy?
Yeah, it's just finding joy in situations that aren't necessarily 100% happy, but just the light in that situation. And also it's a kind of a fun metaphor because photography is all about light. And so kind of what inspired what you do?
My brand is, well, I'm an author and I write young adult sci-fi and fantasy books, and I'm working on making comic books. So my brand is all about sci-fi, fantasy, being a nerd and a geek and a fangirl, and you know, cosplaying and being just kind of geeky and all that kind of thing, which is a very different world from the more hipster, artistic fine arts photography. I like to go on social media, on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, and have challenges and interact with other nerdy fangirls like myself with fan fiction and all that kind of thing. So
I think it is pretty neat though how when you get to the core, we're both doing a lot of the same thing. We're trying to help people find hope and joy in their ordinary life, you know. And even though it's manifested in such different ways, at the core, we really have the same goal.
Yeah, totally. Inspires your business or career path.
I don't want to sound too zen, but sort of self-discovery and just discovering the world, discovering how do I view the world and how do I see the world, and I try to just be really transparent with that in my work. Whether it's my personal work or my professional work. I loved photography because it was something I felt like I could express what I was thinking, what I was feeling without having to use words, without having to actually stand face to face and talk to people. If you see somebody as beautiful, sometimes it's easier to show them what you see through a photograph than tell them that and get them to believe that just by words.
Kind of seems like it can transcend all language because you don't have to speak a language to understand the picture. And then my answer for that question, what inspired me, business or career path, because I don't just write novels and then try to share that love of books and sci-fi and fantasy with people. I also make YouTube videos, and so based around writing and all that, but definitely inspired by a lot of popular YouTubers that also are geeky and nerdy and stuff. So I would say
in the best way.
In the best way. No, I say nerd, that means awesome. If I'm oh my gosh, you're so nerdy to somebody, I have to be careful not to say that to people because they might take it as an offense, but I think it's the best thing ever. I'm yeah, nerds. But yeah, so I watched me loving geeky stuff and all that kinds of thing when I started watching YouTubers that also loved the same kind of things that I did and were just total bookworms and total science geeks and all that stuff. It made me so happy to see somebody sharing the same passions and silliness and weirdness and everything as me, and then just in a very positive way, uplifting the people around them, uplifting their viewers and all of that, and also just watching the shows that I like I love Doctor Who, I love Star Trek and all those things that have some theme, and like Narnia and Lord of the Rings, that have some themes about like courage and loyalty and friendship. Those things like inspired me to want to, I guess, let all of the fangirls and geeks and stuff know that they are really cool and they're a hero. That's why my like tagline is kind of "We are epic heroes." It's because I want people that love fiction and nerdy stuff to not just look up to their heroes, but also know that they're a hero, that they're important, and that they matter. I think it's really neat how, you know, I remember ever since you were really little that you were writing stories and you wanted to inspire people and to see, you know, that they could be a hero in their life. I remember when you had that like realization, like, hey, we should just try to be the heroes that we read about in books. And it's pretty cool that like now you're actually inspiring so many other people to do that and see that.
Yeah, that's fun.
Pretty rad.
It's pretty awesome.
So I gotta ask you then, how do you decide? How do you decide on your audience? How do you figure out who your audience are that you're speaking to?
Really great question that I should have a far more scientific answer to.
Well, that's alright.
I don't.
Hi.
No, you know, I love my biggest platform right now is Instagram and my blog.
Yeah.
And usually the people that read my blog, the people that are most active on my Instagram tend to be young women around ages like 16 to like 22 with a lot of the same interests as me. You know, they want to travel, they want to impact the world, they want to be able to see their lives as beautiful. But I honestly, I try to just present myself really authentically, and whoever is naturally drawn to the kind of art that I create, they're my target audience.
Yeah.
So whether that's, you know, a 45-year-old woman or a 23-year-old man with a startup business that he needs advertising films for, or whether it's, you know, a missionary couple somewhere, you know, it's the people that are drawn to a certain type of storytelling. So it's more of a personality than like a demographic.
That makes sense. And that's cool what you said about like who's just naturally drawn. Like you try to represent yourself authentically, because I think that is, I mean, that's what you have to do. You can't just be like, hey, I'd like to reach 9-year-olds. I'm gonna go on Instagram and try to talk about what 9-year-olds like. Like that wouldn't work.
You could. I couldn't do that very well, but I think that could be. It just depends on what your goals are.
That's true.
You know, that could be a really great way of marketing, but it just doesn't work for me personally.
Yeah, and really the way that I figured out that my target audience, I guess I say target audience, you know, the people that follow me on Instagram and stuff, I was just talking about books and fandoms and stuff, and they just tended to be mostly girls from like 13 to 17, like around there basically, that were of course into the same type of shows and books and movies that I was, and you know, usually artistic. They usually love drawing and painting and writing and stuff like that. So really, that just kind of happened naturally, and then I figured that out, and I'm like, okay, so like those people like my books.
Yeah.
I am writing for young adults, so that's going to be
Definitely
the biggest thing. But I definitely think if I had been too thinky about like, I want to reach these people, that couldn't have worked. So I mean, now that I realize that, okay, the things that, like my Instagram and Twitter and all that, and blog and stuff tend to be around like geeky stuff, and I tend to have this following.
Right, it's sort of a natural byproduct of your demographic.
It sort of happened, and then I focused in on it a little bit more.
Sure.
But like first you figure it out. Kind of like you're saying, you realize this is your thing about sharing light, but you like kind of just figured that out first. I don't know.
I think when you focus too much on the numbers, or at least when I focus too much on like the numbers and the demographic, you lose the relationship aspect. And I know both of our brands are very relationship driven.
Yeah.
You know, I care more about building a powerful relationship with the one person than reaching, you know, 500 in my target demographic.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's really true. How do you interact with your audience?
Oh, great question.
Just how do you interact with your audience?
Why don't you start with this one? Answer this one first.
I interact with talking to them a lot. I'm on Instagram all the time. It's my favorite, and I respond to like all comments in chat and DM, and I just talk to people. And I don't know. I noticed that a lot of Instagrams especially ones building a brand or a blog or something, don't always do that. Like that's not their focus. Their focus is like creating great content or something. And I mean, I try to make good content, but I try to make content that will definitely put a smile or bring a wave of courage or hope or self-acceptance into people. And then after that, I just chat like they're my best friends,
Totally.
which
That's
they're
really
definitely my friends. Like I think of even the people that I don't even really know as my friends, because if they connect with me over like a fandom or a book or a passion, and it's like we know each other on some levels. So
Totally. Yeah, I mean, my brand has a few different facets. You know, I feel like my Instagram, while it's building my photography business, it's also building relationships and being a voice
yeah,
for a certain way of living and for Christ and for a joyful mindset. But one thing I've been learning lately is that in order to be a voice, you really have to be a listener as well.
Oh,
you
yeah.
can't just
Yeah.
put your ideas out there, even if they're brilliant. You have to have the humility to actually listen to the people that
that's totally
are listening to you. And so I've been trying to work on that more lately, and one of the ways that I do that is I often, every few weeks, I'll do a post on my Instagram that just asks if anyone needs prayer. And people, I feel like the people that God wants me to talk to, they usually DM me and they'll tell me like what they're going through, and we start a conversation. Or sometimes I'll get an email through my blog, just a reader introducing herself or himself, and it's always just really neat to be able to listen to the people that for some reason you have the privilege of getting to speak to.
yeah.
And I think
totally.
oftentimes like my pride can make me want to just speak and have people listen, but I think it keeps us humble when we try to build that double-sided relationship with
that's
people
really
as
true.
much as we can.
Because you have to, like, at least for me, like, you have to, my Instagram, I say my Instagram all the time, that's my biggest platform, but my Instagram has to be about them. I mean, yeah, it's technically about me because I'm doing a journal of my life and I'm talking about how my stuff is going, but at the same time, it's not really about me. It's about all of those people that I love, all of those awesome heroes and everything. And I always ask them, like, what do you think about this? Sometimes I don't even say what I think about it, because what does it really matter? Like, I want to hear what people are thinking about it and be a part of that conversation and create a platform for that conversation to happen.
That's really neat.
I don't know. Yeah. What's your mission statement? And you know what I mean by that, right? Like, what do you try to do? Like, what's your #1 mission with your brand business?
Wow, that's a really good question. It's funny because I've been researching mission statements for like another organization that I work for apart from my personal brand, and thinking, wow, I need to like make myself a mission statement. I have like a slogan.
Oh, okay.
And then I have a mission, but not necessarily worded in not necessarily well worded yet. But my slogan is that sounds really like it's my catchphrase. You know, jingle.
Like a mascot.
Is art matters, life is short, and love is real.
Art matters, life is short, love is real.
So every single photo that I try to capture, every single Instagram post that I share, I think, okay, how does this express those 3 things, right? The value of just living your life fully in the moment, the value of good art, and the fact that love is real. And that's not necessarily like romantic love, although that's true as well, but the love of Christ, the love of your family, the love of the people around you, just sharing love with the world in my posts. And so
awesome.
I would say my mission statement is just to help people see the beauty and the purpose in their lives. I just started a project I do 12-hour sessions with families. So I show up at their house early in the morning and I leave around sunset, and I'm just a part of their family for the day with a camera, and I just document what's happening. And one reason why I'm so passionate and excited about that is because I feel like in the daily grind we don't see the beauty in our lives, and we don't see the amazing purpose and value in, like, especially moms, you know, in just the things they do every day. And so to capture that in an artful way, to help them see that, to me that's just so powerful.
Yeah,
So-
it is. That's so neat.
What about you? What's your mission statement?
Mission statement. Yes, my mission statement is to help nerds, geeks, and fangirls realize that just like the heroes that they look up to, they are the hero of their own life story, and they are epic heroes no matter what anyone else says.
thanks for having me. It
Second
was an
epic
honor.
project. Yay! And thank you guys so much for watching. We really appreciate it, and we hope that this inspires you that in your brand or your business or your passions, that everybody doesn't have the same path, but we still love each other. Yay! I think we did that in our last video. We ended with a big old hug. It's so lovey. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. And remember, until next time, until we see each other again, that we are epic heroes. That's my salute. Hey, do you want to do it?
And sure, show me how.
You do this for the hashtag. We are epic heroes. Yay!
Yeah, and you can follow, if you want to keep up with what I do, you can follow me on Instagram at Patience Pennington, or my website at www.thebrightnessproject.com, and
I'll have her
always
links in the description for anybody that wants to follow
Yeah,
this
and
beautiful
just
piece
never
of
forget.
That was a ridiculous sentence.
And just never forget that your story matters, and that you never know how you might bless someone else's life just by sharing.
Yeah, share your
and
story.
what-
Share your
what's
story.
happening in
Don't
your
be
life.
afraid to share your story, and not be intimidated by people saying that maybe or people acting like maybe it doesn't matter, because you never know, you could bless somebody.
Yeah, and it does matter.
And it does
And
matter.
it's beautiful.
And you're beautiful. And everything is beautiful.
Or if you're a man, you're handsome.
Sorry. Or beautiful too. Anyway, if that offends you, then you're handsome. So give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Comment down below what your passion, business, brand, or artistic pursuits are, and what you're trying to reach with them, what your mission is with them. Subscribe to this channel if you want to see more artsy, nerdy videos by me. Subscribe to her if you want to see awesome stuff to her. All the links are down below.
I'm not a YouTuber, but I have videos.
Follow
that I
her
made.
and fan her and all those. Well, you know. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
So I was like, princess wave.
I'm sure you look awesome. Okay. Thank you for doing that.
You're welcome.